So I have not introduced him before, but this is the brawn behind my ideas. This is Josh, and we've been married for 16 and a half years almost.
Yep.
And this summer we have been tackling just a list of outdoor projects. We've actually tried to limit ourselves because we just don't want to get in over our heads. We already feel like we did that a little bit with some of these projects that we've gotten done. Both of them had challenges. One we were prepared for and one we weren't. We are prepared to try and make a swing set that our teen girls could all be on and that was strong enough for them, because a lot of the plans we saw were just made for toddlers or little kids.
Yeah.
And we have at least 3 teen girls now, and then they have friends come over and they want to swing too. So yeah.
Well, and we had a swing set, or a swing kind of hanging off a tree, but it was just near a really busy road, and we didn't feel like it was safe. We didn't love that the kids were just playing there all the time, and so we wanted to build a better swing set.
So I'm gonna have him. Oh, and then the challenge we were not prepared for was with the raised beds.
Yes.
So we decided to make them out of brick because when we moved here, Josh found a bunch of brick for really cheap on Facebook Marketplace. And so we took a trailer and picked them all up. Our oldest daughter is still scarred by that experience. And so since we had those, we decided we would build the raised beds out of those. But it ended up being the project that never ended.
Yes. It was only like an average of 1 month per bed, so it took us about 3 months to get it done. The issue with the raised beds, well, part of it was I had this grand plan of doing kind of 2 courses of brick, making it kind of a thick wall, but realized my math was insufficient. As I began to get about halfway done with one of them, I realized I was not going to be able to make 3 beds with just 2. So we shifted halfway through so we can make 3 beds instead of just 1. And then I just didn't realize how long it would take to put mortar and brick and do all that together. And so, it was taking a very long time. Actually, what sped it up is my girls learned how to mix the mortar and they knew the consistency. And so whenever they helped me, things sped up pretty quickly, but it was taking a very long time. And then we would just pause for 2 weeks between it doing something and then come back to it. But eventually they did get done. We had to move a whole bunch of dirt because there was kind of a flat flower bed where these brick beds are now, but we wanted to smooth it out, kind of make it some pathways through it. And so that was the difficulty of that project. So
yeah, it was just a bed that was level from the ground when you see it from our house, but the ground slopes down to the fruit trees. And so it was built up in the back, and that's where all the dirt was. And I wanted to just have a gentle slope all across the backyard down to the fruit trees in our future garden. So we'll show you some up close of that now.
Okay, so in order to make this big enough for teens to swing on it and have fun, and even an adult can swing on it, we needed some heavy duty wood. So we got 6x6 posts, and they're very tall and very heavy. So those are not fun to move, but I will say the hardest part of the project by far was actually digging the holes. So in order to have it sturdy enough so that a teen can be in full swing without it just rocking all over the place or breaking, you got to get these holes like a quarter or a third of the length of the entire height of those posts in the ground. And so for half of them for 3 of them it was 4 feet deep, and then 3 feet for the other ones. So we have 16-foot posts for the tall section, and then a 20-foot beam across the top, and then 12-foot posts, and then another 16-foot beam. But the hardest part by far was digging the holes. The ground is so hard, so rocky that an auger wouldn't do it, so we had to by hand just chisel away and shovel out those holes. So
we do live on Eagle Mountain, so.
Yes. So it was very, very difficult to do that, but we got that done. And overall, it was not actually too difficult of a project. I had a friend come and help me kind of do the heavy lifting of getting some of the big things up. They say measure twice, cut once, but they should also say measure twice, dig once. There were a few mistakes that I think I would redo, but one of them was that I dug holes with one of the beams laid out and ended up not being able to rest one of the beams on the posts, but actually just kind of butted up against the post. It still works. Yeah, it still works. It's still safe, and it's still sturdy, but it's just not the ideal there. The other thing I think we would do differently, and this was my not quite hearing what Carolyn wanted, but I did all equal bays for the swings. Caroline knew exactly what she wanted for the swing set as far as the swings and what type and all that kind of stuff. And I just did 4 kind of equal bays. But if I did it again, I would actually make one of the bays bigger and then have kind of some of these swings need more space.
We wanted these 3 swings to be in one bay, and that
Yeah.
one just needed its own little bay.
Yeah, they kind of need their own space. And then I also built it right at a right angle, which isn't necessarily a problem unless someone's trying to use all the bays at the same time, which, you know, if they have their friends over, they might be, because obviously a few of the swings will run into each other if they're using them at the same time. But we tried to strategically lay it out so that they could use the spinny thing or the bar at the same time as the swings. But the kids love it. We got some brackets that help with both the stability and the aesthetic of it. But overall, it was a good project. This one actually went pretty quickly. Usually I way underestimate how much time these things are going to take, but this one only took about 2 weeks to do.
Not 2 weeks of working on it every day, but 2 weeks in your free time.
2 weeks total, with, you know, taking probably about 4 days of actual work.
We were highly motivated to finish this one because we felt like if we got it finished, it would help us finish our other outdoor projects. So
Yeah.
now onto the raised beds.
These became the bane of our existence, just because of how long they were taking. I didn't consider a few things. It would have been so much easier if we had just built them on a flat spot. One of the things we've learned is that we don't like to make our projects really easy, we like to make them difficult. By the way we pick how to lay them out. But each of these is on a slope, which means you have to dig down and then bury several courses of bricks, kind of staggered though. It wasn't like I could just bury one course of bricks because of how sloped they are. So that just took a lot of time. I had to start at the low end, you know, digging down, laying the bricks, and then slowly build up all the way around. So the girls helped out a ton on this one. They were a huge help. It would have taken even longer with just me. Again, we got these bricks for dirt cheap. I think it was under 10 cents a brick. I think it was like 5 cents, 6 cents a brick. When we first moved here, I saw them, so I went and picked them up. And then these were some, the top stones, the pavers were left over from a project that my mother-in-law was doing. And so we got those. And so we decided to build them, and they actually look great. I think they turned out really well. Hopefully they'll last a long time. It's just 1 brick thick all the way around. And then there are only about, you know, 1 or 2 bricks buried. And so I think we're gonna put some drip lines, you know, through the bottom of them and come up and be able to put some drip lines in. I'd say if I redid this, I would just not do brick. No, actually I love the look, so probably I would do brick, but I would just have my expectations set for how long it would take. But then the other thing too, we've realized is that we have deer and rabbits and all sorts of things, so we have yet to figure out how to adequately protect the stuff growing and use it. So right now we are feeding the deer our tomato plants and things of that sort, but I like it. I think this turned out well. There's a few aesthetic things that could be better, but overall I like the way they turned out.
Okay, so I have probably 3 big project ideas for next summer if we were able to save up the funding for them and make a plan. And the first one involves this basement back patio. So right now it's just a cement slab, and what bothers me about it is it is lower than the grass line. So when I do try and hose it off or sweep it off, a lot of times the leaves and things just get caught at the grass line and they go no farther. So my idea is to lay some 1/2-inch pavers, which would fit under the siding, and then also extend that out. So out under our deck stairs, out several feet in front of this current cement pad, and then out on this side to make a little bit of an outdoor kitchen. We use our Blackstone a ton, so it would be nice to have a really nice setup for that, even with a little bit of a sink for Josh to wash off things and rinse things, and maybe a little fridge to keep ingredients in that he's gonna use. So that's the plan for the basement patio. I also think I'd like, in the part that we extend out, to get some just picnic tables and things, because we honestly don't have a lot of outdoor seating. We have a couch and chairs that were given to us up on the deck. But in the evenings, the deck is super hot until the sun starts to go down. So in the summers, the better place to eat is down here under the deck. So I thought about just getting some of those picnic table kits from Home Depot and having the girls help build those and just having those set up here so when we do host things, we just have a lot of shaded seating for people. So that's one of the ideas. The other idea is for this sloped area down from our driveway, which I'm sure you've seen if you've watched our videos. And so right now it's just a gravel slope, and we would love to put some kind of steps in there, especially for people with not as much mobility as us to feel safe walking down these stairs. And then the space right in front of our garage, which is kind of functions as our mudroom right now, it is a small concrete pad and then it just dramatically slopes right away. So figuring out how to do that, I think there's more trouble with that one because we need to make sure we're not going to block any drainage or anything like that. And in the future, we'd love to take our driveway on the other side of this clump of sagebrush and go all the way down our property where we would hopefully put a barn one day. And so our driveway would go straight down, but then a walkway would come along this side. I was also approved for 5 kits from a Utah pollinator habitat program, where in the fall I will go pick up free plants, and then I will make a section that kind of is a pollinator garden with native plants. And I think I'm going to do it in this little clump of sagebrush right here, which would end up being in between our continuing driveway and our walkway down to our backyard. So I would leave some of the younger sagebrush bushes, but pull out the ones that are kind of aged and gnarly and plant a lot of native plants in there. So we will see. Those are the 2 projects. So from what we call the orchard, which is the fruit trees, which we would like to expand, all the way down to that clump of trees that we call the oasis, there is water and irrigation. So we want to make this into a big area for garden, but also animals. So on the side with the trees, we want a fenced in area that's connected to the garden where we can have chickens, ducks. Josh really wants a pet peacock to guard the chickens. And we'd love to get some bigger animals too that are just for fun. And then on this other side, we want to have our garden. And what that will require is just pulling out a lot of sagebrush. Now, I'm not worried too much about pulling out this small amount of sagebrush because we have a whole nother beautiful place that we're just going to leave natural and wild, kind of an oasis for the wild animals. But this small area we'd like to cultivate more. So we figured we would start with just pulling up the sagebrush and starting to lay down some compost and things this fall that can start getting this really sandy desert soil healthy for next year. Now, I am very much a hobby gardener. In fact, I've really only had great success with tomatoes and flowers. So this would be a huge undertaking for me, but has also kind of always been a dream. My mother-in-law, Josh's mom, is an amazing gardener in Colorado, so I would definitely be getting her advice and help with this. But those are long-term plans that we'd love to get started on, with the sagebrush at the end of this year and then next summer. So we will see what happens. But if you have any thoughts or ideas of what we should do in those different areas, I would love to hear them, because this is really my first time ever living in a house that we are improving. We've kind of been in survival mode our whole parenthood. And so now that we have some older girls that can help us, and then we have kind of our dream 5-acre property where we can actually do some big things. Our dreams are huge. It's just the time and funds that are lacking. So if you have any ideas that you've done in affordable ways or things you really love that you've done to your property, I would love to hear about those. We've slowly worked on a few other things over the summer. So one of the first things that was bothering me were the shutters on the front of our house. They were looking pretty rough, I think, from a combination of hard water from the sprinklers and then just the hot Utah sun over many years. So instead of replacing them, I tried spray painting them, and I definitely think that helped. On the inside of the house, I tackled our shoe and coat kind of mudroom area. I'm already thinking of next winter and how to manage all of the wet shoes and clothes, and I realized a runner here could really help with giving the girls just an area to put on shoes. And then I also have some plans to build some coat racks that will kind of go opposite of the shoe racks and form a little bit of a hallway there that can be for all of their snow gear and snow clothes, because last year I realized that these few hooks were definitely not enough to handle 6 kids' wet snow gear. On the inside, I've just been trying to come up with ideas to just use what I already have to kind of brighten up the inside of the house. And I had some plain white pillowcases that I had on our couch when I had some dark blue covers on them. And so I decided to dye them kind of a coral pink using the quilt in this room as my inspiration. And I think that an all-girl family deserves to have a little bit of pink in every room. We are in the middle of a lot of 100, 105, 110 degree days here in Utah, and also a severe drought. So there's talk that a monsoon season could be coming, and we are all pretty excited about the prospect of rain. But to be honest, the Utah nights here in the desert just cool off so much, so different from our summer evenings in Georgia, that we have been trying to spend a lot of time outside once it cools down in the evenings. Thankfully, we've finished a lot of these big outdoor projects for the summer, and while we still have a ton of ideas brewing in our heads, we're also trying to just take some time to sit back and enjoy this dreamland that our family gets to take care of.
You want to plant one of those? Okay. How about you put it in this hole right here? Kind of have to dump it out like this.